Welcome to the NBA Front Office Show, bringing you inside rumors and transactions around the league with your hosts Keith Smith and Trevor Lane. Brought to you by LakersNation.com and CLNS Media.
Yeah, so speaking of that, speaking of the cap, you lose Kyrie, you lose Al Horford, and looking at their salary sheets here, that you've got over $50 million there that you're now not having on the books. That actually frees up a little bit of room for them to go play with. Now, I don't know if that makes them a major suitor for some of the top guys. You mentioned D'Angelo Russell and stuff, but is that something where you see them maybe facilitating a trade or doing something that we didn't expect? We thought they were going to be pushing their chips in and looking to land at Anthony Davis, and obviously that didn't happen. It seems like the path is here for them to pivot pretty quickly using some of that cap room in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, they could. They project to have about $28 million if they wipe all the free agents off the book and keep all the draft picks. So if they end up moving off a couple of those draft picks, that'll climb a little bit. They'll be right in the range of $30 million. Call it that. So what you can do there, right? That's enough to go make what I like to call a tier one max free agent. That's enough to make an offer to one of those guys. If you got the sense, you could get involved in a tier two guy, the 7 to 9 years of service guys, then you're there. You can get there. You could use a pick to trade away a salary or trade two of the draft pick, whatever you need to do. You would get there if you need to. So what I think ends up happening is I think they'll talk to some guys. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they have at least some form of a conversation with D'Angelo Russell, because he does fit the timeline with Tatum and Brown and those guys. But I honestly think rather than go commit a whole bunch of money to one guy and then have that guy and Gordon Hayward on the books for half your cap, right. I think it's likely that they're going to take a more measured approach and then spread that around and take that $28 million and go get, $4 $6 million players or whatever the case is, and take shots on some guys who maybe they flamed out in other places. Maybe they're just, undervalued kind of guys.
Redraft players, basically.
Redraft guys or even veterans who have been around, like a guy like Ed Davis. Now you're in position to go Davis if you want to. Yeah. Right, yeah. Now you're in position if Ed Davis has a whole bunch of 1 year $5 million offers, you could come in with, hey, how about 1 year for $7 million? Then bring in a guy like that, and now all of a sudden you're really filling out your roster with a lot of good quality guys. And I think it's going to be really important. Well, one thing I want to be really clear about too is that this is now Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's team as much as the way things are going to flow offensively. And I think the hope here is they're not going to bring in somebody else who's going to sacrifice that. It is very much the leader of this team, as he has been for several years now, is Marcus Smart. But Smart's a playmaker, defender guy. He's not going to be the guy who's going to say Kyrie's gone. He's not like, I get 20 shots a game. Right. Yeah. That's a once a month thing maybe from him. And then Gordon Hayward the hope is he looks like the guy who flashed at times this year. But probably his best attribute this year for the Celtics was his playmaking. And I think that's what you're hoping for, is that he's able to be a really good playmaker, as well as continues to get back, look better, as he did at times. Paul George said it continually. It wasn't until year two that he felt good again on the court. So that's what you're hoping for Hayward is, we're in year two now. Now all the mental stuff is, gone as much as it ever will be, and you can move forward that way. But I don't think that's why I don't buy the D'Angelo Russell stuff, because I don't think they want somebody coming in who's a primary ball handler who's also going to take 20 shots a night. I think they want those shots and touches divvied up amongst the younger guys to get them feeling good about where they were, like they were a year ago at this time.
It's probably just a little bit of revenge motivation there. Hey, if you're going to take Kyrie, you're taking our point guard Brooklyn. Fine, we're taking yours then, right? That's got to be it. But yeah, I don't see D'Lo as being that great of a fit on the Celtics. They could potentially go after him, but we don't even know for sure if the Brooklyn Nets are going to make him unrestricted. It sounds like they will if they get Kyrie, but who knows? I mean, when push comes to shove, if they don't have a second star coming in, then maybe they do hang on to them. But still an interesting target. I do agree with you, though. I think ultimately they probably target more of those mid-level guys and then try to see if they can find someone who they can really build their value up.
I want to say on Russell too. Because I'm with you. I think the most likely path is they bring in Kyrie and they're like, all right, go, because then we can turn your cap hold into more space and go fill out the rest of this roster. I do think that there is the potential that if Sean Marks isn't feeling like I've got something else lined up, he's not going to lose Russell for nothing. He's too smart for that. But the other thing with Russell and I don't, because and it sounds like you're with me, we don't think he's a great fit for the Celtics. I still think he's a great player. I think he fits any number of places. I just don't think that's the right spot for him or for the team. But what I put on Twitter, which I think would be an absolute riot, is as the Nets take Kyrie and become what the Celtics hope to be, do the Celtics become the Nets and start throwing around restricted free agent offer sheets to mess up everybody else's cap sheet? Like, I'm all for it. Like, hey, go do it. Like, I mean, I know it's funny. They became this connection and brethren between Celtics and Nets people, because for so long it was everybody Celtics fan
because they had all their picks.
Yeah, their favorite team was the Celtics. Their second favorite team was whoever was playing the Nets.
Right.
And their third favorite team's whoever's playing the Lakers. But it is, that's just how it goes. But I found myself consciously rooting for the Nets on a very regular basis, because I was like, man, I like a lot of these guys.
Yeah,
I like the coaches. I like a lot of these guys I drafted. Man, these guys are kind of fun and those kind of things. So to see it just completely flip would just be an absolute riot to me, and just something, that it would make me so giddy and happy as just a basketball fan in general, that it would just be an absolute, crack me up.
It would be a great underlying storyline. And one more thing I want to throw in about D'Angelo Russell, John Gambadoro, who's based out of Phoenix, I believe it's 98.7 is the radio station in Phoenix. He tweeted out today that the Suns are 100% not going after D'Angelo Russell. And to me, I'm thinking, why not? If you're the Phoenix Suns and you need a point guard, and he is best friends with Devin Booker, who is your star that you're building around, why not go after D'Angelo Russell? You need a point guard. The Suns, I don't know. I think that would make a lot of sense to go after him there. But look, I get it. It's the character thing. I know that.
I think it's that. I also don't love that fit, him and Booker in the same backcourt. Boy, that's a defensive nightmare.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
But they had no one last year. I mean,
that part of it I agree with. It's almost kind of goes back to what we talked about with the Knicks is, so what?
Right.
They can't get worse. I personally think I would throw as much as I could at a guy like Patrick Beverley if I was the Suns, because I think he fits perfectly there. He's a guy good off the ball to be arguably the best, one of if not the best defensive guard in the league.